Well, joining me now is a lawyer, Ola Daniels, to talk about this. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So when this news broke out now, what came to mind as looking at this figure here as Allen Onyema, the CEO of Air Peace?
Well, the truth is the news eats some of us because this man, as a person, is my hero. You know,
looking at what he did, bringing
Nigeria back, from South Africa, because we had a lot of them that couldn't do, even with people that had issues or not, but well, they had money, whatever. But nobody thought of it. But looking at the allegations, the indictment, well, to me, I look at it, I read that, and it's weighty. They are all weighty. See. You can't have such allegations or the indictment and to say then the reasons he gave were not tenable. That's the truth. Having said that, this is an allegation, is an indictment. And I think we need to correct an impression. Because the United States had investigated something or they came up with some allegations and people go, yes, if it's coming from United States, yes, it happened. You can say it happened if it's coming from them. We see what happens in the same United States with their president, with some other people when it comes to investigation, how they try to, come to tarnish image or to cover stories.
Some people would have spent jail terms before they realized that it was false investigation.
Thank you. And also, I love the latter part of the writer from the Attorney General. It says, "Come, this person is still innocent until proven guilty, and the honor of proof lies with the government of the United States to say, okay, this man." Then the prosecutor have to come to prove that indeed he's guilty. But this side of the world, we don't want to even wait. Already, we are casting, we are throwing stones, casting aspersion on him. No, let's wait. Yes, there are indictment, though weighty for me, but then I think if we are looking at that, I think I would say Mr. Onyema should have done better, and he should know better as a businessman that there are some of these things you must go through due process. You must follow the laws. If the law says go this route, you must.
But he came out to say he has never been involved in money laundering and the allegations were false. Yes, his lawyers have taken over the case and all of that. But we realize right now that the EFCC has also taken over the case and decided to investigate him.
Yes. Of course, if an allegation comes, if to you have not done anything against the law. And don't forget that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Yeah. Now, if to you think you have not done anything against the law, and the law is clear in the United States to say, if you do this, you do that, it's money laundering, and it's to them, that is what has happened. Allegation, indictment, that is what has happened to them. Then if you are coming to say, I have never launder money, I have never been involved in such thing before, that is you. But is he in accordance with the provision of the law of the United States? So if he's not, then it's possible that you may be culpable. Okay,
so now that you've read the statement by the American government, and you say it is weighty, what do we expect now? He's going to go to courts in the U.S. and all of that. How do you expect this case to go? It might go either way, but looking at as a lawyer now, how do you expect the case to go?
Well, if the allegation and the indictment are true, then you have to face the wrath of the law. See, no one is above the law. And you can also be the Messiah, but if you don't do it the right way, we tell people some things, yes, some people are wonderful, and we cannot say, oh, because a thief had come to the town to help the town, or the money is stole, he brought it and he was able to help the people, the masses, with the money he stole, then sentiment comes from people to say, yes, at least the money is stole. He gave it to the masses, but then, is he supposed to steal the money in the first place? So you cannot use the wrong thing to fix the right thing. You can't go that route. So if something that he has to face, if all the allegations and indictments are true, then he must face the cost of law.
All right. So the EFCC has decided to investigate this matter. But it seems like once the U.S. say you're indicted, it means that you're actually going to be arrested. But looking at all of this, how should the EFCC approach this case such that we don't have conflicting reports of the investigations?
Well, at least there's an indictment, there's an allegation, and it be still upon us as a nation, as a country also, for our own agencies to spring into action to see whether, okay, there are issues, raised, because don't forget that one of our former presidents at one time said that once U.S. say something, yes, it is rubber stamp, and I beg to disagree that where is the sovereign state, they have their laws, and also people can make mistakes. They may not be accurate in their investigation or whatsoever. Doesn't mean because they have said something, with rubber stamp it and that is it. Well, it's good also for us to spring into action. Yeah, let EFCC do their job, and I just hope that it's not going to be the usual media investigation or media trial from EFCC. And don't forget that some of these things that the U.S. is raising today, a lot of people, a lot of these big shots, they do that in the country, in Nigeria. And I think because of the way it is, they do it and they just they settle what they need to settle, and no dust is raised, and they think, oh, it's the norms, and that's how they make their money. So they think that can happen in other places. Unfortunately, it backfires in some other nations. But the way it is, well, we'll wait for EFCC to do their job. We're not going to jump before the gun and see whether we're going to have anything tangible from EFCC.
EFCC doing their jobs now. The U.S. investigative body are doing their jobs as well. Yeah. But what if we have conflicting reports now? How do we approach this case? Do we arrest him in the U.S. and leave him in Nigeria? Or?
Don't forget that U.S. and Nigeria, they have an agreement on extradition. So U.S. can demand for him to be extradited. So it can be sent to U.S. to face trial there. And because that's what we have an agreement to that, so that can happen. So if EFCC said they have not found anything culpable, don't forget, this allegation, this indictment is not from Nigeria, is not from EFCC, it's from United States. So if they said, oh, he has a case to answer, then they will have to, unfortunately, we have seen maybe little or none of this, because we remember the case of the Oga Ashamu, Buruji, Kashamu. Till now, it's been using Nigerian court to frustrate its extradition, because the U.S. has been saying, we need this man, we need this man, he has a case here to answer. But we've been going to court in Nigeria and, question all moves, to send him. The same thing may happen in this case, because it's a total different system. ISIS, it won't be able to go to U.S., it won't be able to go to Canada, because already U.S. had informed Canada, and they are already harmonizing to say, anytime you see this man here, please, we need him, like that. So here, you go to court, and the next thing is you see them frustrating all effort to extradite this man. So,
with this case hanging on his head,
yes,
do you expect that he steps down as chief executive of Air Peace? Because there have been calls already for him to step down.
Well, we are not very good at that in this part of the world. The system we're in, the society, we are not very good with resignation, stepping down, if there are allegations, if there are indictments and all that. With that honor, that integrity, we don't really value it. I think we have really depreciated in moral values, so we don't embrace those things in Nigeria. But personally, our advice that he step down. If these allegations are this weighty, if this indictment are this weighty, I think is a proper, because one, like the other friend lawyer said, how will the staffs look at him? How will the company look at him? Well, from all this, because if these things are true, then I think Mr. Onyema should, for now, step down as the chief executive or the chairman of...
stepping now solve the problem. Won't it further exaggerate the situation and make sure that people have the same mindset and say, okay, yes, he's actually done it, so he has to step down?
No. Unfortunately, that is the way we reason. in this part of the world. And that is the reason why you don't see our people resigning or stepping down from in such cases, because the mindset or the system or the society, once he steps down, why did he step down? That means he's guilty and all that. No, but see, that is wrong. That is wrong. I think we should even embrace that. We should encourage people to do that, and not you cast it aspersion when these people have not been found guilty. Don't forget that it's an allegation. What if he goes to court and in the end was able to prove himself, and or the prosecutor could not prove anything, any case against him? Do you understand? But for now, stepping down has nothing to do with people casting aspersion. I think we just need to change our mentality.
In all of this situation, what should the federal government do in this regard, seeing that we have bilateral relationship between Nigeria and the U.S.?
Well, I think it's necessary for federal government to stick to the agreement. If it requires him to be extradited to the U.S. to answer, this call, fine. But for me, some people may not agree with me on this one that I want to make. Former President Clinton was indicted of using foundation money for his own personal gains and political race. President Trump
was also involved.
So what has the Americans, the prosecutor, what have they done? Nothing. He's still the president of the United States. And to President Clinton, what happened? So now, like I said, it's still an indictment, an allegation. My advice to Mr. Onyema, get a good lawyer. Let him look at records. He has denied the allegation. Then let him look at records. Let him look at the papers. If he is not culpable, if he's not found guilty, so be it. Then people should also be careful. This man has not been found guilty. Then all this noise of castigating him, casting aspersion against him, I think we need to hold on. We need to wait first. Let us see. Thank God EFCC is doing their job investigating. If they find nothing against him, then let him go there to US. He has not done anything wrong. Then let us see if they will be able to prove any case against him. Is the job of the prosecutor. The honor of proof, is on them. Let them prove it. So if they can't prove anything, then we should not kill the man if he's not found guilty, because he's still innocent until proven guilty.
According to a particular newspaper this morning that we reviewed, South African investors, Peace investors, were, according to an investigation, were involved in this ordeal. So some people believe that it's because of the part he played in bringing back, rescuing Nigerians from South Africa during the xenophobic attack period. Don't you think that despite with all of this allegation, there might be some truth to it?
Well, there'll be different stories from different quarters. But then, I can say it is true. I can say it is not true. I'm not on the same table with them, so I don't know what has transpired. But I must tell you, something went wrong somewhere. Most of these people do the same thing, but there's something went wrong somewhere. So you cannot rule it out that some people are actually on this matter. But does not mean, because when people go witch hunting, I always ask the questions. The people, when you come to tell us that they are witch hunting some people, the question I ask, are they found culpable? Or is there an allegation? Or did it happen? Go and tell them. If you did it then, it goes through. And if not, then you are free. So there should not be any issue of witch hunting. Then if there's any country or any investors or any business or people that feels that no, that's which, because it's true, somebody single-handedly came to fly plane from Nigeria to South Africa empty. Now, to bring the people back to Nigeria, the money involved, it is not small money. So it may be bad business for some people.
And the impact on the economy of South Africa.
Thank you. So, and again, don't forget that the South African people didn't want even Nigerian people to leave in the first place. If you remember all the issues when it went there, how they delayed the plane, and so many. So it could be, and it could come from any quarters. But having said that, I do not want to leave it open to say nothing has happened or to say something has happened. Well, there's an allegation. just an indictment, then let him go and clear himself. But for me, I'm with him until found guilty. He's still my hero.
Okay, but how, in all of this now, there's a lot of concern about this situation, how it puts Nigeria's image out there.
I said something earlier. Now, how it puts, yes, there are different news about Nigerians, the images, probably image dent, and, you know, then we need to look at something. What we are talking about happened in these countries that, even the US, I just mentioned 2 presidents, one former president and the current president.
But of course, you should know how these issues are taken. When it comes from an African country or outside America, Nigeria precisely, it becomes a big global issue.
That is the reason why I'm not saying we should support wrong thing. I'm not, that is not my school of thought, and I will never advocate for that. But for me, we should come and support our own until proven guilty. Right. Allegations can come from any quarters. And again, don't forget that, yes, there are names, tarnishing of images and all that when it comes to Africa or our people. I think it is now, it is time for Africa, it is time for Nigeria to do all they can and put all their weight behind their people until otherwise it's seen. Right. Depending that, I don't think we should throw in the towel or give, because we are a sovereign state. No matter the bilateral agreement that we sign, we are a sovereign state. Then we should do our part of the bidding, rather than just because it is U.S. so we rubber stamp.
All right. Thank you very much, Onyema, for talking to us on this. Thank you so much.
For having me.